public that are following this meeting through various live streaming platforms. You are welcome to the meeting of the energy regulator to observe the proceedings and discussions that are going to take place. Today's meeting is the meeting of the Electricity Subcommittee, and this is meeting number 249, held today, the 2nd of September 2025. My name is Nomfundo Maseti, and I am the chairperson of the Electricity Subcommittee, and I also serve in other committees of the Energy Regulator, and I'm also the member of the member primarily responsible for regulating piped gas at NERSA. In today's meeting, I'm joined by the members of the Energy Regulator. I would like to introduce them. I would like to start off with the chairperson of the National Energy Regulator, Mr. Thembani Pukula. Mr. Pukula, would you like to greet just so that they can recognize your voice when you speak?
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, everyone. Chairperson, I just want to let you know that I've just had a shutdown on my system, but I will try and reconnect because I'm using my phone now. Thank you, Chairperson.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Pukula. We'll note that. Then I would like to move on to introduce Ms. Nomalanga Sithole, who is the CEO of NERSA and the member of this subcommittee and other committees of the Energy Regulator. Ms. Sithole.
Good morning, Chairperson, members, NERSA personnel, and everyone who've joined us for this particular meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Next, I would like to introduce Ms. Tembeka Semane, who is the chairperson of the Finance Committee, the member of the Energy Regulator, as well as the member of this subcommittee. Madam Semane.
Morning, Madam Maseti, and morning to Mr. Pukula and our colleagues, and greetings to the members of the public. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next, I would like to introduce the member primarily responsible for petroleum pipelines, the member of the Electricity Subcommittee and other committees of the Energy Regulator, Mr. Musuvukile Mkhize.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning to everyone on call, as well as the members of the public that are following us through the various live streaming platforms. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Members, we are on item number 3, which is the adoption of the agenda. This agenda was published for stakeholders who may have interest in the matters that are going to be considered for decision today, but there are some slight changes in the agenda. What we are going to do, we are going to start with agenda item number 5, then proceed to agenda item number 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then agenda item number 15 is withdrawn. That is the consultation with the minister to prescribe general key performance indicators addressing the technical and operational aspects of municipality electricity reticulation systems. This agenda item has been withdrawn. There's some work that still needs to be done. So we'll proceed from item number 5, then go to immediately to item number 10 up to item number 17. Thereafter, we then come back to the trading license applications from item number 6, 7, 8 up to item number 9. They will still be considered in this meeting, but we'll consider them later on. With that, members, I would like to just remind you to complete the declaration of interest forms that are uploaded on the Convene platform. If you can please complete them and submit them to Mr. Walter Mabunda. But as of now, I would like to check if members would like to make any verbal declarations. Yes, Mr. Pukula, you may go ahead.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, for me, I will recuse myself from item number 6, or the original 6, 7, 8, and 9, the ones for trading. And I do want to stress that in the true sense of the National Energy Regulator Act, I am not conflicted. But because these items are dealing with trading, I would not want to bring the energy regulator into any dispute, so I'll recuse myself from the discussions. Thank you, Chairperson, but I will also complete the forms.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pukula. That is noted, and we welcome that consideration from your side. Thank you very much. With that, members, I would like to go straight to the substantive items for deliberation. We are on item number 5. Please introduce item number 5.
Chair, good morning once more, and good morning to the members, as well as my colleagues from NESA and the people that are following on the platform. Chair, the item number 5, as stated, it talks about the application for a license to operate a generation facility utilizing battery energy storage. And this is for Genfa Energy Pty Ltd, as well as Weiketlong battery storage system. Chair, I would want to invite Mr. Madume Khopa, who's the head of licensing within NESA, to give the members the details surrounding this application. Chair, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Hooper.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning as well to the EM colleagues and the members of public. The purpose of this submission is to request the Electricity Subcommittee to recommend to the Energy Regulator to approve the issuance of the license to operate generation facilities for 2 IPPs, which are on table 1, namely being Genfa Energy as well as Weiketlong battery storage system. And another decision is to approve the tariffs as well between the IPPs, which is listed also on table 1, between the IPPs and as well as the NTCSA. And also note the PPAs between the IPPs listed, as well as to approve the draft decisions and reasons for decisions attached here on Appendix A and Appendix B for both. The issuing of the new license is delegated to the Energy Regulator. The Electricity Subcommittee is required to commend the license applications to the ER for approval, and this is listed on clause 1 of 1 of the delegation matrix, and it's also shown on page 2 of 7, which is on table 2. The DMRE through the IPP office, they did release some requests for proposal documents for procurement of storage capacity around the 14th of December 2023. And the key requirements for the request for proposal were the following. There were some intentions to procure 615 megawatt from battery energy storage across the 8 substations. And those substations were identified by NTCSA, and they are shown on table 4, which is on page 3 of 7. And then by 23 December 2024, the minister announced the 8 bidders that were totaling the 650 megawatts out of the successful 31 bids which were received, as well as the combined subscription of about 2,383 megawatt of potential.
You muted yourself. Zuzeka, can you please unmute?
Oh, okay. I don't know where I lost you, Chair. I was
You
saying
must-
that...
Please proceed.
Okay, it keeps on muting. The table 5 shows the preferred bidders as well as the substations where they will be connected. And previously, the energy regulator received 16 applications for operation of solar PV and battery energy storage. And these were approved, but then the 2 that are before us were they had.
Mr. Matebula, please assist.
Yeah, okay. The 2 are the remaining one. The recommendations are on page 6 of 7, which is to recommend the ELS committee to recommend to the energy regulator to approve the issuance of the license to operate generation facilities to the IPPs listed in page 1, as well as to approve the tariff between each IPP with NTCSA, and also know the PPAs between the IPPs and the NTCSA, and to approve the draft decisions and reasons for decision attached as Appendix A and B. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, members. The submission is before us for the two applications for these two entities. Any questions, clarity, or some guidance or enhancements? By show of hands, members. Okay, it seems members are comfortable with the presentation and the introduction of the submission. Members, I would like you to then take. Oh, Mr. Pugula.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the reason I'm sounding like a broken record is that I've been bruised by what has happened at the energy regulator, specifically around when we have requested that the colleagues who are supporting us must change something. The only thing that we expect is that they are going to change that. Not that I'm going to be using harsh words and other things around how we do things, but if you look at the document that was uploaded later, the one that can't remember who was going through it, reads from, you can see there in the recommendation, it says that it approves the issuing of a license to operate a generation facility, which is what we had honed and honed and honed. But if you go to the draft decision and the reasons for the decision, we're going back to the same thing, to issue a generation license. We don't have a law that says we issue a generation license. We have one that says we issue a license to operate. So for me, what asks me, Chairperson, is that this was said. I was looking at the minutes where we said this. It was in 2024 and in 2023. I mean, what is it that we need to do as the members of the committee to get people to just correct, not be creative, but just do what we said they must do? It is frustrating, Chairperson, for me. I think let me stop there, Chairperson. The other errors that are in this, I think colleagues must just, for instance, I just want to show that the errors. For instance, if you go to paragraph 13, the shareholding structure, it says that financial close, the shareholding structure of 12. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's 12J or it refers to 12 because the one above is 12 where the company has been defined. Just those small things. I shouldn't be seeing that. I should be saying that it's great, well structured. Thank you, I approve. But we get those those errors. I honestly now don't know, Chairperson, how else we are supposed to do this. The thing I wanted to find out further was this was submitted in February, and we have taken 4 months to approve this. What was the delay? Because this is generally a straightforward process. Once it's been approved from that selected as a bidder, there is nothing that should delay us. Thank you, Chairperson. Let me stop there. But I really I'm happy with the fact that when we have said that something must be done like this and spell it out, the only thing I expect is that the colleagues are going to do exactly as we had said, as decided as the committee. Why it's not done, I don't know. Maybe we must get an explanation because we keep going through the same thing. We say this must be done, it doesn't get done. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pukula. Mr. Matebula, as well as Mr. Hooper, if you can kindly respond. And the observation is accurate, Mr. Pukula. We still also, as executives, still return documents that they repeat the same things that they were corrected from, even when you write them down to say that for all of the other documents in future, please write the sentence like this and they will still not do it. And sometimes it comes from the same department. So we still get those kind of things. I don't know whether it's thoroughness or people simply don't want to do certain things. But I must say that the observation is accurate, and this is exactly what we deal with, not only in licensing, even in confidentiality matters. They still don't do exactly what we said they must do. Mr. Matebula and Mr. Khupa.
Yeah, Chair, maybe I will respond starting with the last to the first. Yeah, the last issue is the issue of the delays, which we are managing this differently going forward, Chair. I think the error that we had made was that every time when an application lands on our door, we would sit with it, even if it's incomplete, even if the information that we have it's not enough for us to move forward. But together with the Office of the FTRM, we have reached an agreement that if immediately when if a license, or a license application does not meet the minimum requirement for us to process it, instead of just waiting for the licensee to furnish us with the outstanding information whenever they deem fit, we will reject the application so that it does not sit with us, because I think that has been how we dealt with this thing before, and it made most of the applications to stay with us for a very long time, because at times, even when we had highlighted to the applicant that there is particular information that we need to be able to proceed, we would still have to wait and sometimes wait for much longer before the applicant can give us what we're looking for. So we have resolved that we will inform immediately on what is outstanding. We will stipulate the time on which we need this information, and if that information is not provided within the 7 days that we require, then we will reject the application, so that the application is no longer at our door, and the applicant can reapply whenever they are ready to provide to do the application. Then from there we can be able to process it, and that, Chair, I believe it will help to ensure that the application is not seen to be sitting with us for many months. And we envisaged and we are committed to turn around this process much quicker. So, Chair, that is the one, and the other one, Chair, from my side, I note the concern raised about the mismatch between what we had indicated on the opening paragraphs of the submission compared to what we are saying at the end, where we're talking about the issuance of license. Chair, we will correct that, and I personally have taken note of it, and will ensure that it is corrected going forward. Yeah, Chair, I'm not sure if Mr. Hopper maybe want to add. I have seen one of the colleagues have also communicated the reasons for delay on the chat. Mr. Hopper, if you have anything. Okay, I see. Yes, raise his hand, Chair. That's all from us.
Thank you. I think the issue of the delay, if we can just look at paragraph 4.13 of the covering submission, the licensee only published the application on the 30th. Is it the 30th, or is the notices that were published on the 30th? Is that the date, Mr. Hooper, that the application was published? Mr. Hooper, on the 30th of June 2025.
Yes, Chair. On 4.13, those are the days that the applicant did advertise.
Okay. So from those dates, because the other issue that delays, because now we have put the processes, and we insist, in fact, we have rejected 3 applications already. So we've put the processes and we insist on the timelines. So the other issue that is we need to get it right is the applicants themselves, because the Act requires the applicant to advertise for 30 days. Then sometimes we do get delays when the matter is before the applicant. In this case, the applicant advertised only on the 30th of June, so there must be 30 days, which ended in July, and therefore we only had 30 days in August. I think plus minus 30 days in August to bring the matter here, which is 30 days before the 60 days that is prescribed in the Act. So we're still within the 60 days of the Act. We utilized only 30 days of the 60 days that is prescribed in the Act. Let me check if Mr. Bukula, you happy with the responses?
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
Apologies, I'm
Okay.
really struggling with my system today. Yes, I'm fine with the responses, and I think that for Mr. Matebula, yes, he's got to take the flag because these were things that were done before his time. But for me, it's not so much about whether he's taking the flag or not. I really want to understand, without offending the CEO about using hard language, what is this thing that makes the colleagues refuse to do what we ask them to do? For me, that's, and I mean, if it's a strike or go slow, I would understand. I know this is an open meeting, but I really want to get to the bottom of it. But thank you, Chair. We can deal with it in another platform. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Pukula. Yes, it's something that we need to address so that it does not frustrate. That it does frustrate, but it is really something that we need to understand. Thank you. Advocate Sitole, any issues on the submission itself?
Chairperson, just a point of enhancements. Maybe it will help if the team were to put the table that we normally use in other subcommittees of when an application was received, all the steps. I think that table will make it easy for a reader to follow the sequence of how the application has been considered. So that is just a suggestion that I would like to appeal to the team to include. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Advocate Sitole. Mr. Mkhize?
I'm covered by the CEO, Madam Stoll. I support that suggestion. If they can put the table and then what is written as part of the motivation or deliberation, they should then put the narrative to explain, account for the time, because we know very, very well that time is of essence in us assessing and deciding on applications. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, members. With those points of enhancements, one is that there's a need for consistency, especially in the reasons for decision document. If you can take care of the errors that are there when you make reference even to sections or paragraphs, make sure that there's accuracy on that. That is the first one. The second one is make sure that when you seek the decision of the energy regulator on the application, the energy regulator does not have powers to approve generation license. It is not called generation license in the law, and this has been said several times, and it has also been rejected even in your submissions. So if you put it right in one paragraph and in another, you don't put it right, that becomes a problem. So all of our applications, what the regulator can approve is a license to operate a generation facility. And that's what the law states. Nothing else, no other words must be put in the submissions. And then the third thing that the members are requesting is that in all of your submissions, including this one, please at the beginning put a table. That table will simply set out the date of receipt and all of the other activities, including the dates, so that it is much clearer what has happened, and also our service standards in terms of efficient processing of the application, so that they appear there and so that the energy regulator does not risk in missing the statutory time period that is in the Act. So those are the reasons. Energy regulator, the recommendations are on paragraph 14. The request is that the electricity subcommittee must recommend to the energy regulator to approve the issuance of the licenses to operate generation facilities for the IPPs listed in Table 1 above. That Table 1, so that the decision stands on its own, will be inserted here under 14.1 when this matter goes to the energy regulator. I'm hoping that this is not going to be again left out, so it will be inserted here so that nobody's going to go back and check what page Table 1 is. Then secondly, to approve the tariff between each IPP and NTCSA as shown in Table 1 above. That Table 1 will be under 14.1. And then thirdly, the subcommittee is requested to note the PPAs between the two IPPs stated in Table 1 and NTCSA. And lastly, it is requested that the subcommittee recommends for the approval of the draft decision as well as the reasons for decision as attached in Appendix A and B. By show of hands, members, if you are in support of that decision. Thank you, Madam Semane. Thank you, Advocate Sitole. Thank you, Mr. Bugula. Thank you, Mr. Mkize. Thank you, members, for the decision. Members, I'm now moving on to the next item, which is item number 10 of the agenda, the temporary exemption for Argenis solar PV farm for complying from complying with clauses 9.4 and 9.8 of the renewable power, PP's Great Code, version 3.1.
Chair, once more, good morning. Thanks for the opportunity. Indeed, Chair, the submission is to request the Electricity Subcommittee to approve a temporary exemption for Argenis solar PV farm, Chair, for complying with clause 9.4 and 9 paragraph 8 of the RPP Grid Code. Chair, this was considered by the Grid Code Committee on the 17th of July 2025. And Chair, I would like to request the head of department for the to take us through the details, Chair, for this submission. Mr. Shozi.
Thank you, EM. Good afternoon to the members and colleagues. Yes, Chair, just to add on that, this plant has commercially operated since 2020, and they do have an existing temporary exemption on the power quality because of the misalignment between the GCAC meeting and the ELS meeting. They submitted this application on time, but it was approved, was recommended on the 17th, as I've said. The then exemption has since lapsed. So they are requesting to be extended until the 30th of January 2026. The main reason for this non-compliance is that there was a transformer failure on tape changers, and it's been on transit. It's been sent to the repairers in Johannesburg. So upon receiving the transformer, we'll then start with the testing to prove the compliance with regards to 9.8 and 9.4. There are steps that are detailed in Annexure A in terms of the project plan, what exactly they'll be doing until they prove compliance. Chair, we are requesting that the subcommittee approve this extension of the existing exemption until the 31st January 2026, subject to the conditions as outlined 14.2.a A, which is the RPP generator must demonstrate through testing or otherwise to the satisfaction of the system ops or a network services provider their current capability in relation to the exempted code. The other one, Chair, is to the RPP generators non-compliance with the code requirement necessitated that the system operator or NSP to curtail or disconnect the generator. There should be no deemed energy payment with regards to the claim for the output that was curtailed. And we also request that the RPP to submit progress reports to the NERSA team so that we can track if they really put effort with that exemption. Chair, that will be my submission. Chair, I have colleagues to give you to take questions if members want more clarity. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, members. The submission is before you. Any comments, any concerns before we get to the decision part? By show of hands, members. Maybe whilst members, yes, Mr. Mkhize.
Thanks, Chairperson. I'd just like to understand, and thanks, Mr. Shows, for the presentation. I'd just like to understand, when we're looking at these exemptions, do we always look each in isolation, or there's also scope to look at it in their entirety in terms of the cumulative effect of or the vulnerability that could actually arise, because there could be many in the same kind of situation in terms of the supply quality. Just want to get to understand that, because here we always look at them in isolation. That I understand, but do you look at the cumulative effect as well at a grid code committee level? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Advocate Sithole.
Chairperson, thank you for the opportunity, and thanks to Mr. Shozi. Chair, mine is just on the period requested for an extension for the exemption. I'm not sure whether from our side, do we also consider whether that timing that is requested by the applicant is sufficient for them to do what they need to do, or do we just rely on the applicant's requested time frame? Because looking at the timing, which is just 6 months, my view is that it may be a shorter period, and hence the question to say, do we also give advice to the applicant as to what is deemed to be an adequate time frame for them to do what they need to do? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Members, just two things that I would like just to correct on I think for the team, we should have just picked up this on table 2, which is on page 5 of the green overstamped pages. The advert was published on the 12th of May. Then the 30 days ended on the 12th of June. So any 60 days commences then on the 13th of June. It is incorrect there where we put that the 60 days commences on 8 August. That is incorrect. So at the end of the 30 days, even if this is not a license application, but at the end of the 30 days, the 60 days kick starts, because it starts after the 30 days the 30 days has expired. So that is incorrect, just for the record, so that we don't put information that is incorrect. And then the second thing, the submission was prepared in time, but the misalignment that Mr. Shozi mentioned, just to check if maybe the decision, we can tweak the decision here. Instead of approving an extension of an exemption, perhaps we may need to consider just approving the exemption itself. Reason being that as we are required to take a decision today, the previous exemption has already expired before it came to this decision-making structure. So it has already expired. So we cannot extend something that has already expired. So we might as well just take a decision to grant the exemption for the period that is requested. I simply wanted to bring that aspect to the energy regulator. Mr. Shozi, can you just, for the record, give the date when the previous exemption expired, so that the members of the regulator have that on record, and also take a proper decision, as we cannot take a decision to extend something that has already expired. And this is because of the misalignment when the matter was considered by the GCAC and also the scheduled meetings of the subcommittees of the regulator. Mr. Shozip, quickly, and then we move on.
Thanks, Chair. Yes, on that one, Chair, we can't grant an extension in retrospective because we can only the exemption will come into effect on the day of approval. So we will have to check with I think answering your question together with the CEO. We'll have to check with the applicant on the timelines that they've given. If we approve the 6 months that was originally requested, how far they've gone with their project timelines. If what is remaining on from now until the 31st of June is not, but from where I'm sitting, it would be safe when we are saying we're approving as of today, and then we count 6 months. It won't do any harm from the license perspective, just to cover that, so that you don't come back in July, in January, and ask for additional 2 months. So the safer way is to grant original 6 months. Just grant, yeah. So
that's fine in terms of the timeline that has been requested for them to do that. Yes, later on we can also just check. And if they finish in time, that is still good. But all that I wanted to correct is just the extension of the exemption. Mr. Murati, is it in order, as we cannot extend something that has expired?
it is in order, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Members, can you please then respond to Mr. Mkiza's questions, Mr. Shozi and Mr. Matebul, as well as
thanks, Chair. I'll try. Mr. Mkiz is asking if we consider this exemption in isolation. Yes, because the effect is measured on a plant per plant. When it comes to the power quality requirement, all the plants, if you're not a synchronous generator, we are bound to be polluting the network to a certain extent. So in terms of our grid code, then they will grant you what we call the levels, permissible levels that you are allowed to pollute the grid. When you exceed that, then it's where they will then take necessary steps for you to correct your harmonics to the grid. So you will have to do it in isolation. But if there are too many plants that are connected to the grid and the pollution is unbearable or is causing effects to the other users, then the network services providers, they will bring other measures probably for the plant that are connected to go beyond what was already allocated in terms of the harmonics that are allowed to be injected on the grid. So there will not be a time where we grant a generic exemption, because plant they affect the network differently. Yeah, I think that one from CEO have covered it. We will around the exemption. But what I can also indicate is that during the GCAC, when the project plan is presented, they do somehow give assurance to the GCAC members that the time that is being proposed is realistic. They will be able to do whatever that needs to be done. But we can only, it's a wait and see. We can't say they can't if they are giving the committee an assurance. But in some instances where we see that they are being optimistic, we will try and persuade them to add more months so that we avoid administrative burden for the regulator. I think I'm covered. If there are other questions, colleagues may come in, Chair. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. But also we need to ensure efficiencies in terms of compliance and completion of any thing that they need to do to comply with the grid code. So efficiency, in as much as we want to be lenient in terms of time, but also just to make sure that you also consider the efficiency part of it. All right, if there's nothing else, then members, the recommendations were already read out with the tweaking there on the issue of the extension. There's no mention of extension. So the recommendations are on paragraph 14. They were read out that the electricity subcommittee is requested to approve the temporary exemption for energy solar PV as outlined in table 4, and table 4 has been inserted as part of the decision itself to approve the conditions of this temporary exemption, and the conditions have also been spelled out. With this, then, members, can you please raise your hand showing the support of this decision? Thank you, Mr. Mkize. I support. Thank you, Madam Samane. Thank you, Advocate Sitole. Thank you, Mr. Bukula. Thank you, members, for your support. We're moving on to item number 11. Again, it is a temporary exemption request. Please take us through, Mr. Shozi.
Thanks, Chair. The next it's from two plants, Griffspan and Herbert Solar Plant. They are both in operation. They were connected in 2014. It is in terms of our Appendix 9, Chair. After 6 years, the plants have to undergo a 6-yearly routine test. The main purpose for this test is to ensure that the plant they remain compliant, because during the operation, some of the equipment they fail and then they get replaced. Sometimes they do impact the compliance that was approved at the time. So after 6 years, they then go for a 6-yearly routine. Chair, on table 3, we are summarizing the reasons for non-compliance and also the remedial action to be taken by both plants. Chair, the requested exemption is up to 30th June 2026. The plants will be interacting with the check to verify if the plants are still compliant. With that, Chair, if without getting to details, I would want to recommend that the energy regulator approve the exemptions for Griffspan and Herbert Solar Plant as outlined table 4 under 4.1, with subject to the conditions that the plant will demonstrate through testing and otherwise to the satisfaction of the system operator network service provider, the current capabilities, meaning that they should not change. If this exemption is granted, this is what they will be operating throughout the exemption. And also, we 14.2.b, we are saying if the plant is should be curtailed, should the plant exceed or it's starting to impact the network negatively, but any curtailed energy should not be claimed as deemed energy. Chair, the plant section C, it's required to submit reports so that the NASA team they will be tracking progress. Annex chassis, Chair, it details project plans for both plants until the demonstration week is reached. With that, Chairperson, let me pause if members would want to engage on the deep technical issues, but the colleagues are here to assist. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Shozi. Members, any questions of clarity? Mr. Mkhize? You are muted, Mr. Mkhize. Any questions?
No, I'm covered. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, members. I would like to take you then to the recommendations on paragraph 14 for the record. The Electricity Subcommittee is requested to approve the temporary exemptions applications outlined in table 4 below, and that is for, is it a Grief Span or Grief Span, solar PV, and then Herbert solar PV. They are on the table, which is table 4, to also approve the conditions of the temporary exemptions, and the exemptions, the conditions are listed in paragraph 14.2a, b, and c. By show of hands, members, if you are in support of the decision. Thank you, Madam Semane. Thank you, Advocate Stole. Thank you, Mr. Bugula. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I also support it. Thank you, members. Members, we move on now to item number 12. Item number 12 is another temporary exemption application. This time it is for Ilovo Eston Sugar Mills. Please take us through, Mr. Shozi.
My laptop is just, it's frozen. Just a minute.
Okay. Let's
if I may
ask
Mr. Zungu to come in.
Mr. Zungu.
Good morning, members, colleagues, and members of the public. So the purpose of this submission is to request the ELS to approve the Ilovo Eastern Sugar Mills temporary exemption from complying with clause 3.1 on 4 of the network code. So this application for temporary exemption is guided to a removing extension because it was granted before and then it has already expired, was presented to the GCAC by Ilovo Eastern Mill. From now onwards, we're going to call it Ilovo. So Ilovo is a sugar manufacturing plant that also owns a cogeneration facility with 2 units, each having an installed capacity of 3.5 megawatts and 5 megawatts respectively, located on its site at Eston Road in KwaZulu-Natal. It exports 2 megawatts to Excom distribution to support the local network. In the past, the energy regulator has approved temporary exemption as outlined on table number 2. So the aspect 4 that is indicated on table 2 is what Ilovo is applying for exemption. So that is a requirement in line with the Grid Code requirement 4, which is stipulated in table 3. Basically, what is required there is that the cogeneration plant must provide for remote control of voltage and reactive power function, either from the system operator or the local distributor. So by virtue of Ilovo exporting the 2 megawatts to Eskom distribution, then Eskom distribution should be the one who's operating remotely the plant. So they are applying for the temporary exemption from the date of approval by the energy regulator for the period of 36 months. The reason for failure to achieve full compliance is elaborated on page 5, which indicates that during the first exemption, they only concentrated to the plant capability. And then once they achieve the full compliance with the plant capability, and then now due to seasonal changes, of which didn't support maybe their revenues in terms of the drought that they faced, then the capex that was allocated for that clause to achieve full compliance was reprioritized. So during the 2025-26 financial year, another capex budget has been allocated to achieve full compliance. So they need to order long lead material and do proper designs. Thereafter, achieve full compliance with clause 3.1.4 of the network code. If maybe I can take you to the decisions, Chair, on page 8 under paragraph 14. It is recommended that the Electricity Subcommittee approve the temporary exemption of Ilovo Eastern Sugar Mill from complying with clause 3.144 of the Transmission Network Code that will expire in 36 months from the date of approval by the energy regulator, also subject to the following conditions: that the co-generator must demonstrate through testing or otherwise to the satisfaction of the system operator and the network service provider that the co-generator current capability in relation to the exempted code requirements, and provide assurance that this capability will be maintained for the duration of the exemption. Condition number 2, should the generator's non-compliance with the code requirements necessitate the system operator or network service provider to curtail or to disconnect the co-generator, no dim energy payment shall be claimed for the output that was curtailed or disconnected. They must also provide the quarterly reports to the NERSA Grid Code team. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Zungu. Members, any questions of clarity that may affect the decision that is sought? If none, members, the decision has already been read out. By show of hands, members, if you are in support of the decision. Thank you, Mr. Mkize. Thank you, Madam Semane. Thank you, Mr. Bugula. I also support. Advocate Sitola, are you happy to support the decision? Okay, we've got the majority. We will then go on. Advocate Sitola, I see your mic is on.
I was saying, Chair, I do support. I was struggling to raise my hand. Apologies for that. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We'll note that. All right, members, we now moving on to the next agenda item. This is now item number 13. It's again an application for a temporary exemption for NTCSA. Please take us through this application.
Thank you, Chair. As you have said, the application is from NTCSA. Chair, this is a requirement by Grid Code 7.4 wherein the NTCSA is required to publish a minimum 5-year ahead transmission development plan by end of October each year. In that plan, they should indicate capital investment planned, but not necessarily approved. And also, there's some of the things that they may include the acquisition of servitude, list of planned investment, and so on. The previous TDP was formulated based on the draft RP. RP is a key document that is used to formulate TDP, but last year they had to use the draft RP, as you are aware, Chair, that is the RP 2019 is being revised. So when they then wanted to comply with this code, with this clause, they still don't have an approved RP. So the assumptions are still the same. So the NTCSA felt that if they do this TDP, it won't be different from the one that was done in 2024, because the inputs are still the same. So the request is centered around to say they want to put the exemption to give time for approval of the revised RP, so that when the assumptions that there will be in the final RP, they will be taken into consideration so that they give a true reflection of the TDP. With the chair, the Greek Court has recommended to the ELS or the energy regulator to approve that the temporary exemption for NTSA to comply with 7.6 until October 2026. Chair, I have colleagues here who will get into details for members if they want to get into that. Thank you, Chair. The submission is the recommendation on page 14 as I've read it. By section clause 14. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Members, any questions of clarity? If none, members, by show of hands, I believe the decision has already been read out by Mr. Shozi. If you can kindly raise your hands just to support that decision. Thank you, Mr. Bukula. Thank you, Madam Semane. Thank you, Advocate Sitole. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, members, for your support. We move on now to item number 14. Item number 14 is the application for the revocation of a transmission license by Eskom Holdings, SOC Ltd. Please introduce the submission.
Yes, Chair. Thanks. The purpose of the submission, Chair, is, as you had indicated, we would want the subcommittee to approve the revocation of the transmission license for Eskom Holdings. Chair, this comes on the background that Eskom Holdings itself was issued with this license in terms of the Electricity Regulation Act 1987, which was repealed and replaced by the Electricity Regulation Act 2006. But Chair, and the details and scope of that license, Chair, was mainly for transmission network service provider, for system operator, for transmission system planner, and for grid code secretariat. But Chair, as things developed, as we know, Eskom started unbundling, and this resulted in the establishment of what is today known as the National Transmission Company of South Africa. So on the 28th of September, this new established entity, NTCSA, submitted 3 license applications, which was for transmission, trading, import, and export, which on the 26th of October 2023, the energy regulator deliberated and approved these licenses, Chair. This, Chair, led to that on the 12th of June 2024, Eskom Holdings therefore addressed a letter confirming that the merger agreement takes effect on the implementation date of the 1st of July, and the letter from Eskom is as attached on Annexure B. But Chair, I also need to indicate that in December, also Eskom had indicated that it intends or notifying NERSA that Eskom intend to apply for the revocation of its transmission license. So Chair, this is to ensure that we do not have licenses that are held by 2 entities, which might probably be the same entity at this moment. However, so for that reason, Chair, we would want to revoke the license that was issued to Eskom Holdings, and it's replaced by the license that is currently held by the National Transmission Company of South Africa, which is solely responsible for transmission responsibilities. And Chair, on that, we would like to make the following recommendations: that the subcommittee approve that Eskom license to operate a transmission facility and associated conditions be revoked, and also to approve the draft reason for decision as well as the draft decision document that is attached, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matebula. Members, the submission is before you for any questions of clarity before we take the decision. By show of hands, members, if you do have. If none, members, the recommendations have already been read out. May you please raise your hand if you are in support of the decision. Thank you, Madam Samane. Thank you, Advocate Stolle. Thank you, Mr. Bugula. I also support it. Thank you, Mr. Mkize. Thank you, members, for the decision. That deals with item number 14. We are now on item number 16, the report on the monitoring of performance of the renewable energy power plants. Please introduce the matter.
Yeah, Chair. The submission is for noting, and I would ask Mr. Shozi to give some brief details just for the comfort of the members, Chair, on this item. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. Chair, high level, I'll be through you. I would like to invite Dr. Pasha to give details. But Chair, it's one of those reports that we produce annually. In fact, we produce 2 reports. The purpose of this report is to track the performance of the renewable energy plants that are in operation, how they against the commitments that they've made during the licensing, and the projected energy to be generated, and so on and so on. So it's one of the reports that we use as our source of data when we want to analyze the funds to be allocated for primary energy related to the purchases of the renewable energy. So, and we also share this report with the department and other stakeholders, just as we have created a reputable database when it comes to be able to source data around the performance. But let me ask Dr. Bashira just to give the specifics on how this report differs from what other reports we have produced. Dr. Bashira, if you can come in.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning to members and colleagues in this platform. So currently we reporting for a period from January to June, and there were 94 IPPs from the Renewable Energy IPP program. And we had those that have always been there, but they were licensed to operate, but they were more like your sugar mill industries and so on, but they are producing power using renewable energy, so they're about 21. So we also report on those. And the capacity is currently sitting at 6,587 megawatts. That is from RIP, and we've got about 823 or so from those that we call non-RIP program. So projects that have been there before the RIP program. And Chairperson, just to give highlight on the cost of those projects in terms of the price that they're paying, that are being paid, was about 17.5 billion rands that is from January to June. And there was curtailment that occurred, and that curtailment was due to oversupply, which normally occurs during the night periods or morning periods, and it's part of the PPA agreements, and it totaled about 81 million rands. Chairperson, I would like to point members to the recommendations, which are on page 5 of 24, and the recommendations of that report. The ELS committee notes the report on monitoring performance of renewable energy power plants. It is issue 26, attached as appendix, as Annexure A. But also, just to mention, Chair, that the report, as indicated, will be posted on our NESA website for the stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Xhaka. Members, any questions of clarity on this report by show of hands? Mr. Bogula, you may go ahead. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Jefferson. Jefferson, I also in the same breath as I am hard on submissions that are not good, I also have to be hard on submissions that are good in the way that I express my appreciation. This is one of those reports that's easy to follow. I just would want enhancements, say on 5.2, for instance, where you breaking down the RIP, non-RIP, and registrants. If you could also indicate the number of megawatts that come from those projects, like you've done for the generation facilities, that it's about 4 megawatts. It gives a nice picture quickly of what we have as an installed capacity. And then on 5.4, I know that you mentioned further below that this curtailment that you're talking about, the dimmed payments, are not the same as the curtailment, the congestion curtailment that we are talking about, where we have allocated the 640. But I'm not sure if it is different, Dr. Xhaka. The fact that it hasn't been grouped together, but doesn't congestion curtailment and this other dimmed payments curtailment, it's the same thing. In fact, that's the argument that was advanced for us to accept that there will be congestion curtailment. If you may comment on that. And Chair, sorry, my PC is stuck again, so I'll send Dr. Xhaka the notes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bogula. Mr. Mkhize.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thanks to Dr. Xhaka and Mr. Shows, Dr. Xhaka and Mr. Shows. On table 1, if you may please just make it more descriptive, the heading. And I don't know if it would be too early to do it, but maybe to include capacity that has been realized vis-a-vis the capacity that was requested as per the determination. Just to be clear in the beginning, because it's the renewable energy capacities from based on the ministerial determinations. And I'm not so sure if you're saying including expired, what that means. That's why I'm saying maybe a more descriptive table heading or naming will assist. But overall, I must also commend the team for a well-written report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Don't know, Mr. Bogula, if you found the other comment before Dr. Xhaka and Mr. Matebula and Mr. Shosi come in. Okay, we can then proceed with the responses, Dr. Xhaka.
Thank you, Chair. We will have taken note of paragraph 5.2 to provide a breakdown for the non-RIP projects. And then the one about 5.3, which is related to curtailment. Yes, indeed, it may. I think with the current reporting that we're getting from Eskom, it's more of instructions from the National Center. So in our case, because we haven't, because NESA has, as we know, has granted some money for allocation for specifically ancillary services, which are related to specific areas where they would have congestion, but not necessarily national. But I don't know how that will be tracked, but for now, the reports that we've been getting have always been that of instructions from the National Center, that is the system operator, to specific regions, indicating that the national frequency is increasing, so they should, curtail, from those wind power plants in the Cape Yes. So, but I do understand the information from Mr. Bugula. So we'll try and see how we can have this reported maybe in a way that would differentiate between those two, if possible. But I think it as it is correct. Yes, thanks. And then coming to the question of table 1 from Mr. Mkhize, yes, indeed, we can try and use table 2, which table 2, there's table 1 that he was referring to, but table 2 also does break down the capacity that it does give an indication of how much capacity has been realized, that is from various speed windows. Yeah, I think that's my response for now, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Charles?
Thank you, Chair, and good morning to the members and good morning to people online and colleagues. The difference between the curtailment that was approved during the MYPD and what we have here now is that this curtailment is to do with the keeping the system frequency under control in the early hours of the morning predominantly. And this is, if you like, to the benefit of all users, and therefore the cost can be socialized. Whereas the curtailment that we are speaking about for the that was approved during the MYPD and the subsequent decisions that was made is specific to some and to the benefit of a few of the private generators who are using the system to send power to another customer and not of benefit to all the users. And that is a specific difference. And it's to do with the overloading of local lines and local equipment. And it's not to do with the system conditions as a general overview. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Any follow-up questions, members? Mr. Mkhize?
Yes, thanks. Thanks for the responses. I was looking at the issue of just a summarized part on table 1, but I just want to also stress, I know it could be argued that it's an operational matter, but I think it's important that there be feedback to the policymaker, being the DE in this regard, and there be engagement so that it shapes the way forward regarding the renewable energy independent power producer program going forward. I think it's that would assist, because the strength of the report is in getting insights and being able to then use those insights going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I hope that you take note of that, Mr. Matebula, Mr. Shoze, and Dr. Kasheka. All right, with that, members, the recommendations have been read out on the record or for the record. I would like members then to raise their hands to show support of the decision that is sought. By show of hands, members, if you are in support. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Advocate Sithole. Thank you, Mr. Pukula. Thank you, Madam Semane. Also support. Thank you very much, members. Members, we are now on the on item number 17. It is here for noting. Can we introduce this matter, please? Item number 17.
Yeah, Chair, this will be quick. Chair, we wanted the members of the ELS committee, Chair, to note the timelines regarding the application of a market operator license, which is with us, which came from the National Transmission Company of South Africa. Chair, I must also indicate that when this application was made initially, we as a regulator actually rejected it, because there was not sufficient information for us to progress with the application, and the National Transmission Company had to reapply on the 25th of July. And that is when the application had enough information for us as a regulator to be able to start the process. So where we are in the process, Chair, currently the application has gone for the 30-day public comment, which ends on the 22nd of September. We have made arrangement to have the public hearing to be held on the 30th of September. And Chair, I want to indicate that due to obviously the timing around the formal sittings of ELS as well as ER, we believe that there might be a need for us to arrange special meetings in October to be able to obviously submit this license application for approval, depending, obviously, Chair, on what transpires between now and the time of the public hearing. So if the plan goes as we have proposed, Chair, we are trusting that we should be able to have this process concluded towards the end of the October month, and Chair, conclude on all the relevant documentation, including the reasons for decision before the end of November. And that will, Chair, conclude this process of the market operator license. And Chair, I need to again emphasize that is if we do not receive anything that can hinder this process from proceeding further between now and the date of the public hearing of the 30th of September. So due to the public interest on this particular license, Chair, we saw it fit that we appraise the members of the regulator on the process that we have taken thus far and where we are, and when do we believe that we should be able to conclude on this process. And hence, Chair, we recommend that the members note the timelines that we have projected on the attached submission. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Matebula, for the introduction. Members, any questions from your side with regards to the proposed indicative timeframes for the processing of the application? If there are no questions from the members, Mr. Mkhize?
Yeah, I'm not so. By the way, thanks for the presentation, Mr. Matebula. I'm not so sure, Chair, but I would, when I look at page 5 of 7, I think it is always prudent to, when it comes to these kind of applications, to have ample time between ELS and ER. We had resolved in the past even that subcommittee decisions can also be communicated in the way of giving ample time to what could be deemed a draft decision to a final decision, just to avoid situations where there are certain things that could be like enhanced, further enhanced and refined, thoroughly, going to the final decision. That is just my concern, and I think that principle of also ensuring that at a technical level there are also consultations in between with the affected parties I think that helps, stands to help us. So I know we could be pressed for time here, but I think more consideration should be given to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Mr. Mkhize, on page 5, between the two meetings that you mentioned, ELS meeting will be on the 15th, and then the ER proposed meeting will be on the 21st of October. Is that not sufficient time to correct and take care of what the ELS would have indicated? I'm just not sure you want it to be increased further. I think it's 6 days.
I think, sorry, not to make it a dialogue, but in those days, you should look at it thoroughly, because there are times when documents, when there's something that has been enhanced, needs to be reviewed, and sent back, and documents being updated. The secret on some of these things also lies on what happens in between decisions, or when, like, for example, when a document has been published for public comment, what happens in between, which is not necessarily for this committee, but is more of an operational matter. That will then inform if the days are also enough or not. Because if for example, this is shared with the affected, parties, and then meetings are scheduled right here, right now, based on the program, because this is what you have a project plan for. You schedule those meetings as if everything is going to go according to plan. Then you can shift it here and there. If that is the approach in terms of program, project and program management, that would be sufficient. But we should be learning certain things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize, for that. I think that is something that we can manage maybe at an operational level. Thank you for raising that. As these are also just indicative timelines, but we'll look into that depending how the process unfolds, and if there are some challenges in between. I think we need to just have some flexibility. But if then you are the members and you, Mr. Mkhize, are happy, given the fact that these are just indicative timelines and there will be flexibility depending on how we progress with the process, we can take these as indicative timelines. Unless then maybe there is another sort of specific recommendation to do things maybe differently. But we'll take that point that you are making. All right. Thank you, members. Are you then happy to note the indicative timelines to evaluate and process the application by NTCSA for the market operator as shown in Table 1? Table 1 will be inserted here as part of the standalone decision. By show of hands, members. Thank you, Mr. Pugula. Thank you, Madam Semane. Thank you, Advocate Sitole. I also support. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Members, we are done with all of these other items. Mr. Pugula, this is the time that we are now going to deal with items 6, 7, 8, and 9 on the trading license applications. I just wanted to remind you on this one.
Thank you, Ms. Maseti. May I then be excused? I think the only item that I don't that I wouldn't participate in is the official notices that was on the agenda. Other than this, so thank you, Chairperson, and thank you for allowing me to sit in this one. I will now recuse myself.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pugula, for your participation and your inputs. We appreciate it. Thank you, members. We are now on item number 6, the application for electricity trading license by Solis Energy Trading, Pty Ltd. Please introduce the matter.
Chair, thank you. And again, we appreciate the opportunity. Chair, the The application is for a trading license by Solis Energy Trading Pty Ltd. The application was initially submitted on the 11th of December 2024, and the sequence of events are indicated, Chair, on table 2 of the submission, which is on page number 5. We would want the members to, Chair, note that the Solis Energy has currently entered into a 10-year generation power purchase agreement with Liqua, a PV facility, as a buyer of a megawatt of energy. And also, it has also entered into a 5-year customer power purchase agreement with Fine Chemicals Corporation, Chair, to supply 0.5 megawatt of energy. And this 5 Chemical Corporation Pty Ltd is a large active pharmaceutical ingredient manufacturer located in Cape Town. Chair, the generator will be connected to the Eskom network, and the electricity will be wheeled from the Eskom network to the City of Cape Town distribution network. And the generator and Eskom has entered into an agreement which will be amended to include the wheeling arrangement and assigning the trader as an off-taker of the power before trading activities commences. Chair, I also want to indicate that Solis Energy will use the City of Cape Town municipality distribution network to wheel the energy and supply its customers. And the consent letter from the City of Cape Town consenting to the trading activities of Solis Energy is attached as Annexure A of the RFD, which is page number 28. Chair, I also want to indicate that the City of Cape Town will also be amending its electricity supply agreement with Eskom to accommodate the energy wheeling from the generator to the customer. And we also want to bring to the attention of the members that Solis has advertised in 2 local newspapers where trading will be taking place, and the application was placed at 2 libraries for 30 days. And the regulator also advertised this application on newspapers, inviting members for comments, as well as the interested stakeholders. And the public hearing was conducted on the 8th of August 2025. And Chair, during the advertising stage, there was no comment or no objection that was received. However, Chair, on the closing date, which was the 30th of July, NESA received an objection or comment from Ms. Kabelo Mataboge, who is a member of public, objecting to 4 trading applications that are serving today on the agenda, including this one that I'm actually taking the members through. And the content of the objection borders around the regulatory overreach and process concern. It talked to grid stability and technical oversight. It talked to revenue erosion, to current distributors. It spoke to unfair competition in competitive environment. It also spoke to legal and constitutional challenges, and procedural flaws were also cited in the comments that were actually received. And the NESA, or the regulator team from ELR, went through and analyzed the comments that were received. And Chair, according to the System Operation Code and NTCSA transmission license, we believe that NTCSA is responsible for maintaining the reliability and system security of all interconnected power systems. So all these comments, Chair, were analyzed as indicated, and the details of the analysis are reflected on Table 2 of the RFD, which is on page number 13 of 40. And Chair, it is on that note that we would like to request that the Electricity Subcommittee members recommend this application to the Energy Regulator to approve that Solis Energy Trading be issued with a trading license to trade in electricity subject to license conditions imposed, and a draft license, it's therefore attached as Annexure B of the RFD. We would also want the committee members to note the 10-year generation power purchase agreement between Solis Energy Trading and the Liqua PV facility. We also want the members to note the 5-year customer power purchase agreement between Solis Energy and Fine Chemical Corporation, and also to note the tariff in the customer power purchase agreement between Solis and the Fine Chemical Corporation. Also to note the tariff in the generation power purchase agreement between Solis Energy Trading and Liqua PV facility, and also approve the decision and reason for decision, a document that is also attached, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments, members, on this application? If none, members, may members then raise their hands in support. Mr. Mkize, is it a support? Is for support or a question?
It's a question.
Okay. All right. Please
Yeah.
go ahead, Mr. Mkize.
Thanks. I think for me, this applies to all these trading licenses. It would assist if maybe so this all place on record for Mr. Matebula to outline where we are with the development of the rules regarding trading, and to also assist in kind of outlining, because I just want to check if there was any engagement with the person who objected or commented, seeing that the period was over, who provided that comment, or it's just a response as is, but not fed back to the member of the public that commented. I understand the issue of the legalities around whether it's a objection or a comment, but we take it that whatever input that comes in, it assists us in terms of taking decisions that are solid, in the sense that it's also our own admission that we don't have the monopoly of wisdom in dealing with these matters. And then when it comes to those comments, there's also the issue of grid stability and technical oversight that is highlighted there. But there's a responsibility that NTSA has. Is there any responsibility then from the trader side to make it balance, if any? If you can just explain such, I would appreciate that. As I said, we're just in a situation now that it would have even been better had we concluded those rules, to consider this in light of those rules. But as the law requires for us to proceed with this, so we have to. But yeah, if I may just have feedback regarding that. Thank you.
Sorry, Chair, I'm not sure. Let me wait for you.
You may proceed with the response, Mr. Matebula.
Okay, thank you. Maybe let me invite Mr. Hopper.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I'm using Mrs. Njoku's laptop. Okay, I will start from the last one with regard to the responsibilities on the trader side. the responsibilities actually lies with the NSP, because whenever there is a generator that gets connected to any network service provider, the network service provider issue the generator with a code based on their network performances. Therefore, based on that, that's when now they look into matters of strengthening the network or if there are any upgrades that they have to do. And then for the NTCSA being the system operator, their responsibilities will be to maintain the balance between the demand and supply. As for the activities of the timelines, currently we are engaging with affected stakeholders, the traders, ESCOM, SALG, and the department. So there has been some workshops that we have arranged last month, and there are still 2 more workshops with some group sessions that will be taking place. And when that is done, and then we'll then advertise for comments, and that's when the decisions will be made, when the trading rules will be made by the stakeholders with the NERSA team. And as for the comment made by the stakeholders, it was a note to say that NTCSA and as well as the network service providers, they do the operation of the network, and whenever there is any integration of any generation, they make sure that they do comply with the requirements of the system operation code. Thanks.
Chair, maybe before we move on, let me allow Mr. Ramukoka, who is our champion on the development of the trading rules, to also just add on the project timelines on the development of trading rules.
Yes, but I think it suffices because that has nothing to do with the decision and the matter that is being sought today, as we are invoking the powers that are given to the regulator in terms of Section 10. So the rules are developed in terms of a different section of the Act. And the section that we are invoking in processing the application before us, it does not subject the energy regulator to only approve if there are rules developed in terms of Section 34 or 35 of the Act. So I think it suffices the part regarding the progress in the development of the rules. So we have undertaken, and I think stakeholders have been happy. There's a process that is taking place on the consultation. I think what you need to inform the members is that the process of developing the rules, as it has already served before this committee, before it was then published for comment. So it served before this committee. Now it is at the stage where there is extensive engagements with stakeholders, and there are webinars that were even held apart from the rules just being published for comments. So it is fine if we can mention that just in terms of progress, and so that the members know where we are. All right. Did you then deal with any other question that came up?
Yes, sir. I think we covered all.
Okay. All right, members, if there are no other questions then, and that the team has already clarified the questions that have been asked, including the progress in terms of the rules, I just wanted to, because I made a mistake earlier on, I just wanted to clarify that on paragraph 4.17, the part that deals with I think the last 2 rows there, I think the issue of the 60 days does not start only on the 8th of June. It starts on the 24th of June. That's when there is an end of the 30 days, the 30 business days of the objection period. So it starts on the 24th or 25th of June, the 60 days itself, not from the public hearing, but the Act talks about 60 days after the 30 days, the initial 30 days of objections. All right, Mr. Mkhize?
No, thanks. I note the responses. I think I'm asking the question not necessarily for the members. I'm also looking at the fact that since this is an open meeting, just for the sake of the members of the public that could be following us through the various channels, that it be clear that there are indicative dates in terms of us concluding the process. It's not just an open-ended process that we're not committed to it in the sense that we want it dealt with expeditiously. Hence the issue that of the timelines becoming relevant. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize, for that. And yes, the stakeholders have been very happy with the NERSA process, and some of them were even asking for the links to the webinar that NERSA held. Thank you for that. Then members, with the correction that is pointed out on table 2 on page 5, as well as the clarification on the status of the rules, trading rules, and the fact that they're on the consultation stage and the timelines, I would like members now to raise their hands in regards to the decision that is sought, which has already been read out by Mr. Matebula. By show of hands, members. Thank you, Madam Samane. I support. Thank you, Madam Sitole. Are you happy to support the decision, Mr. Mkhize? Thank you very much, Mr. Mkhize. I also support. That takes care of the application the application by Solis Energy for the trading license. We are now on agenda item number 7, application for electricity trading license for Investec Bank Limited. Please take it as read.
Chair, thank you very much. So this application for a trading license by Investec Bank Limited, the application was received by the regulator on the 27th of February 2025, and the sequence of events are indicated on table 2, which is on page 4 of 39. Chair, Investec has entered into a 5-year generator power purchase agreement, also with Liqua as a buyer of 2 megawatts of energy. And Liqua PV facility is registered by NERSA for a total capacity of 50 megawatts. And Investec has entered into a 5-year customer power purchase agreement with Investec Bank Limited facilities to supply 2 megawatts of energy. And Investec Bank Limited is a registered commercial bank established in 1959 in South Africa. And Investec facility, which is the customer in this case, is currently the customer of Eskom distribution. And the generator will be connected to the Eskom network, and electricity will be wheeled from the Eskom network to the customer. The generator and Eskom has entered as well into an agreement, and Eskom will amend this agreement to include the wheeling arrangement and assign the trader as the off-taker of the power before trading activities commence. And the customer is in the process of amending its electricity supply agreement with Eskom to enable the reconciliation of its account with wheeled energy from the generator to the customer. And this amendment, Chair, will take place before the generator reaches the commencement date of trading. And Investec has advertised in 2 local newspapers where its trading activity will be taking place. And the redacted application form was placed at the Sandton Library for 30 days. And the regulator has also advertised on national newspapers, inviting members for comments, or members of the public and others and affected stakeholders for comments. And the public hearing in this case was held on the 8th of August 2025. Chair, we must also indicate that during the advertising stage of the applicant, there were no comments or objections that were received. However, during the advertisement period of the regulator, on the 10th of July 2025, we received an objection from Eskom, and subsequently the objection was sent to the applicant. and the responses were received from the applicant to the regulator on the 17th of July 2025. And Chair, furthermore, on the 1st of August, Investec sent an email to NESA confirming that they also had an engagement with Eskom, and the objections that were raised and responded to were also ventilated in that sitting. And an objection regarding the infringement of Eskom existing license condition and areas of supply was addressed between the meeting that was held between the applicant and Eskom. The regulator also had done its own independent analysis on the objection, and also noted that Investec, as a trader, does not own any infrastructure, and the supply area still belongs to Eskom, and the customer will be supplied through the Eskom infrastructure, and therefore there will not be any infringement on the license conditions of Eskom in this case. And Chair, just to avoid taking too long, it is on that note, Chair, that we would like to make the following recommendation: that the Electricity Subcommittee recommends to the Energy Regulator to approve that Investec Bank Limited be issued with a trading license to trade in electricity, and subject to license conditions imposed. And the draft license, Chair, it's attached as Annexure A of the RFD. And also would appreciate that the members note the 5-year generator power purchase agreement between Investec Bank Limited and Liqua PV Facility Pty Ltd, and to note the 5-year customer power purchase agreement between Investec Bank Limited as well as Investec Bank Limited Facility, and also to note the tariff in the customer power purchase agreement between Investec Bank Limited as well as Investec Bank Limited Facilities, and also to note the tariff in the generator power purchase agreement between Investec Bank Limited and Liqua PV Facility, and to finally approve the decision and the reason for decisions document that are attached with this submission. Chair, I have the colleagues here from the Electricity Licensing Department who will assist in response to questions that may arise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mathebula. Members, any questions of clarity from your side on this matter? A question that may affect the decision that is sought? If there are no questions, members, by show of hands, members, if you are in support of the decision that has been read out by Mr. Mathebula. Thank you, Madam Samane. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I support. Checking if Advocate Sithole, you are in support as well. Happy to support. Okay. All right. Members, we then move on to thank you, Advocate Sithole. We move on to the next item on the agenda. That is now item number 8, which is the application for an electricity trading license by Solar Tradeco Pty Ltd.
Chair, thank you. This is indeed an application for a trading license by Solar Tradeco Pty Ltd. The application was received by the regulator on the 6th of January 2025, and the sequence of the events is found on table 2 of the submission, which is page 4 of 38. And Solar Tradeco entered into a 20-year generation power purchase agreement with Springbok Power Plant Pty Ltd as a buyer of 52 megawatts of energy. And Springbok Power Plant is registered by the regulator. And Solar Tradeco intends to sell 2.652 megawatts to Old Mutual Emerging Markets Limited through a customer power purchase agreement aligned with the terms of the generation power purchase agreement. And the customer is currently, this customer is currently supplied by Eskom. And the generator, Chair, is connected to the Eskom's network and electricity will be wheeled from the Eskom network to the customer. The generators and Eskom have entered into an agreement with wheeling arrangements, and Eskom will amend this agreement to assign the trader as an off-taker of power before trading activities commences. And Chair, the customer is in the process of amending its electricity supply agreement with Eskom to enable the reconciliation of its account with wheeled energy from the generator to the customer. And Chair, I want to also indicate that Solar Trade Co. has advertised in 2 local newspapers where trading will be taking place, and the application was placed also on 2 libraries for 30 days. The regulator has also advertised on national newspapers, inviting members of the public and affected stakeholders for a public hearing, which was scheduled for the 8th or on the 8th of August 2025. Chair, I need to indicate that during the advertisement stage of the applicant, no comments, no objections were received. However, on the closing date, which was the 30th of July 2025, the regulator received an objection from Ms. Kabelo Mataboge, similar details as per the previous submission, Chair, that I have just read out to the members. And similar to this case, Chair, the regulator employees in the licensing department analyzed the comments that were put forward, and Chair, the analysis of of the comments are indicated on table 2 of the RFD, which is on page number 13. And Chair, it is on that note that we would like to request the Electricity Subcommittee to recommend to the Energy Regulator to approve that Solar Trade Co. Pty Ltd be issued with a trading license to trade in electricity and subject to license condition imposed. The draft license, Chair, it's attached on Annexure A of the reason for decision. We also would want the members to note the 20-year generator power purchase agreement between Solar Trade Co. and Springbok Solar Power Plant, Pty Ltd. Also to note the 20-year customer power purchase agreement between Solar Trade Co. and Old Mutual Emerging Markets. And also to note that the tariff in the customer power purchase agreements between Solar Trade Co. and Old Mutual Emerging Markets. And note the tariff in the generator power purchase agreements between Solar Trade Co. and the Springbok Plant, Pty Ltd. And we will lastly would like to request the members therefore to approve the decision and the reason for decision, a document that is also attached. Chair, that's it from my side, and thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm hoping that the team, if you can just, I don't know if the issues were also just responded to adequately. The issues of is it during the objection period or during the public hearing when is it Mr. Mataboge who opposed or objected? Can we get clarity there? It came during the objection or during the stage of the public hearing after the objection period to oppose the applications, and whether they, if for the benefit of the members for the decision, if the responses were adequate to Mr. Mataboge.
Mr. Hopper?
Okay, it came after the advertising period.
We
Thanks.
can't hear you for the record, please.
Okay, it came after the advertising stage of the applicant.
The objection period.
Yep.
Also, that's to oppose the application, and that then the responses at that stage not necessarily like personally, but because it's outside of that period, but just to understand if the issues that were raised to oppose were adequately dealt with.
Yes, they were adequately dealt with, and then they were analyzed as well.
Okay, all right. All right, with that, then let me check if members have any questions. By show of hands, members, if you do have questions. Mr. Mkhize, followed by Advocate Stoll.
Yeah, as I said earlier on, my earlier utterances apply to all these trading license applications. I just would like, I'm not getting clear, if you can just update table 2 that deals with that. I think there's also the third from the bottom, the row there, that NERSA sent applicant is it document term sheets or what of the public hearing notice for noting. Yeah, if you can just update it concerning noting that the discussions of the ELS are on in today's date, just update that accordingly. And I don't know if I heard you clearly, Mr. Matebula, because I think there was some agreement that was being discussed between the client and or the generator of the power and not ESCOM, but the network service provider. Let me put it like that. Just want to know, because of the timeline, if that has since been concluded or is going to be finalized post this decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Advocate Stoll.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thanks to the presenters. Chair, mine is just a point of clarity. I think under 6.6, we are saying the comments from Ms. Matabuche are contained in table 3 of the RFDs, and there is no table 3 that deals with the comments. Maybe it's an error, hence my question to say that can the team clarify? The comments are table 2 rather. If I'm correct, maybe that referencing on 6.6 should be corrected. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. May you please provide responses? Mr.
Yeah, Chair, I think.
And Mr. Matebula.
Yeah, let me maybe talk to the table is table 2, Chairperson, which is on page 5 of 18. So we will correct that typo there on 3 to 2. Mr. Hopper, maybe you can talk to how the discussion between the applicant and ESCOM.
Okay, thank you, EM. They're still in the process of amending their agreement. So this will be after the decision has been taken. Thanks.
Okay, did you respond to all the questions from the members? 2 questions from Mr. Mkhize and then and then the other one has already been responded with regards to the reference to the table. Mr. Hooper, please.
Oh no, the table, Mr. Matebula did talk to you to say that the reference should reference table 2, and the other ones will be the enhancement that the team will take place as well for the comment made by Mr. Mkhize.
All right, thank you very much. All right, members, with the enhancements and also correction of the table that was incorrectly referenced, with those, are members then happy to take the decision on the approval, to recommend the approval as read out on the record? Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I support as well the decision. Thank you, Advocate Sithole. Thank you, Madam Semane. Thank you very much, members, for your support. Members, we are now on the last item to consider for today. That is item number 9, application for an electricity trading license. This time is by Link Solar Pty Ltd. Please take the matter as having been read.
Chair, thank you. So this is an application for trading license by Link Solar. The application was received by the regulator on the 6th of January 2025. And Chair, the sequence it's indicated on table 2, which is on page 5 of 37. The applicant Link Solar, Chair, has entered into a 20-year generation power purchase agreement with Solar Africa Energy Pty Ltd as a buyer of 10 megawatts of energy. And Solar Africa, Chair, is the owner of 2 solar PV plants or generation facilities, which are known as Solar Africa Sun Central Holdings 2 and Solar Africa Sun Central Holdings 3. And each facility has an installed capacity of 100 megawatts. And Link Solar entered into a 20-year customer power purchase agreement with Green Plug Energy Solution on behalf of Bahatlaba Gafela Development and Welfare, located in Bahatla in the Northwest Province, to supply 0.5 megawatts of energy. And Chair, Bahatlaba Gafela Development and Welfare, which is a customer, it's also currently a customer of Eskom distribution. The generator is connected to Eskom network, and the electricity will be wheeled from the Eskom network to the customer. And the generator and Eskom have entered into an agreement with wheeling arrangement, and Eskom will amend this agreement to assign the trader as the off-taker of power before trading activities commence. Chair, the customer is in the process of amending its electricity supply agreement with Eskom to enable the reconciliation of its account with wheeled energy from the generator to the customer. And the applicant Link Solar has advertised in 2 local newspapers where trading will be taking place. And the application was placed at 2 libraries for 30 days. The regulator has also advertised to national newspapers, inviting members of the public and interested stakeholders to a public hearing that was held on the 8th of August 2025. Chair, during the advertising stage of the applicant, no comment, no objection were received. And on the closing date, Chair, which was the 30th of July, and the regulator received an objection or comment from Ms. Kabelo Matabuche, which was the same comment for the other 3 applications that I've already taken the members through. And the content was the same, Chair. So the analysis were done by the team on the same, and the comments were handled as such. And the analysis is indicated, Chair, on table 2 of the RFD, which is on page 13. Chair, on that note, we would like to request that the Electricity Subcommittee recommend to the Energy Regulator to approve that Link Solar be issued with a 20-year trading license to trade in electricity and subject to license condition imposed. And to note the 20-year generator power purchase agreement between Link Solar and Solar Africa Energy Pty Ltd. And also to note the 20-year customer power purchase agreement between Link Solar Pty Ltd and Green Plug Energy Solution on behalf of Bahatlaba Gafela Development and Welfare. And also to note the tariff in the customer power purchase agreement between Link Solar Pty Ltd and Green Plug Energy Solution on behalf of Bahatlaba Gafela Development and Welfare. And also to note the tariff in the generation power purchase agreement between Link Solar and Solar Africa Energy Pty Ltd. And also to approve the reason for decision document that is attached. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Members, any comments on this one? If no comments, members, the decision that is sought has been read out. By show of hands, members, if you are in support of that decision. Thank you, Madam Semane. Thank you, Advocate Stole. Thank you, Mr. Mkize. I also support. Thank you very much. I believe this is the last item for the open meeting. We have come to an end of the discussion and deliberation on the matters that were for a discussion in the public meeting of the energy regulator. At this point, I would like to thank the members of the public who have been following the proceedings of this meeting, taking interest in the matters that were discussed today. We have now come to an end of the live streaming of these discussions. We are going to now consider the governance matters. We thank you for your time and for the interest that you have shown in the matters of the energy regulator.